Oh hey guys, I'm here in Laclede's Landing. Behind me you can see the Mississippi River. Currently there's a barge coming up. The riverbanks are bricked. This was once the river port of St. Louis. Behind me is the Eads Bridge, first bridge across the Mississippi River. The lower deck is for rail. I just saw a metro light rail train run over it. Top deck's for cars. It's since been replaced by other bridges, mostly. You can actually see the light rail train running right now. Past the bridge is the St. Louis Arch. It's named after Pierre Laclede, who was a Frenchman born in France, migrated it eventually to the New Orleans area, where he entered into a business partnership with another man who wanted to replace a trading post or build a better fur trading post. The existing French trading posts at Fort Genevieve and other locations were prone to flooding. Mr. Laclede came up the river with 30 men, and he found this location just a little bit below the rapids at the confluence of the Missouri, Illinois, and Mississippi rivers. And behind me were some cliffs, some bluffs, but there was a natural path where a break in the cliff where you could get up to the flat plain above the river there, that passed under the St. Louis Arch. That's why the St. Louis Arch is there. Most of the people who came across the National Road or who came up the river system and then landed in St. Louis heading for areas west would have gone up that ramp. Over the course of the 1800s, the cliffs were broken down and filled in and created a slight incline there. What's there now is the remains of a warehouse district, mostly for furs originally, and then for tobacco, other products. They were built mostly around the 1870s when iron frame construction began to replace older buildings. There's one row of just storefronts, 2 and 3 story buildings, 4-story buildings, where you would have had various bars, shops, and offices serving the rivermen, the boatmen, things like that. This little historic district right here of maybe 16 square feet, 20 square blocks is all that remains. Most of it was torn down in the 1940s, 50s in preparation to build the arch. They weren't sure what monument they were going to put in there at the time, but they knew they were going to put one just north of the Eads Bridge up to the next bridge. So they began acquiring properties and demolishing them all. This little isolated section here was turned into a historic district. Like, it kind of reminds me of Glen Elk. A lot of demo lots, not so nice in places, but it's got one really nice pedestrian street. Now, when you go to the website, it shows a bunch of businesses and bars, restaurants, and only a couple of them are still there. They've closed either during COVID or during the inflation that happened afterwards. And you walk around and you don't really see, like, it just looks kind of destitute, but you can tell it has potential. And the problem is it's isolated from downtown St. Louis. You have to walk under the interstate to get here. It's not a terrible walk, but it's something.